One bright, beautiful Easter Sunday morning, everyone in a tiny town wakes up early and goes to their local church. Before the service starts, the townspeople sit in their pews and talk about their lives and their families. Suddenly, at the altar, Satan appears. Everyone starts screaming and running for the front entrance, trampling each other in their determined efforts to get away from evil incarnate. Soon, everyone is evacuated from the church except for one man, who sits calmly in his pew, seemingly oblivious to the fact that God's ultimate enemy is in his presence. This confuses Satan a bit. Satan walks up to the man and says, "Hey, don't you know who I am?" The man says, "Yep, sure do." Satan says, "Well, aren't you afraid of me?" The man says, "Nope, sure ain't." Satan, perturbed, says, "And why aren't you afraid of me?" The man says, "Well, I've been married to your sister for 25 years.
Funny things to do during Palm Sunday's long boring sermon. Pass a note to the organist asking whether they plays requests. See if a yawn really is contagious. Slap your neighbor. See if they turn the other cheek. If not, raise your hand and tell the preacher. Think of ways of climbing into the balcony without using the stairs. Listen for your preacher on how many times he says sin and how many times he says donation. Sit in the back row and roll a handful of marbles under the pews ahead of you. After the service, credit yourself with 10 points for every marble that made it to the front. Using church bulletins or visitor cards for raw materials, design, test, and modify a collection of paper airplanes. Start from the back of the church and try to crawl all the way to the front, under the pews, without being noticed. Raise your hand and ask for permission to go to the restroom. Whip out a hanky and blow your nose. Vary the pressure exerted on your nostrils and trumpet out a rendition of your favorite hymn. Chew gum. If the sermon goes on for more than 15 minutes, start blowing bubbles. Try to indicate to the minister that his fly is undone. By unobtrusively drawing your arms up into your sleeves, turn your shirt around backwards. Try to raise one eyebrow. Crack your knuckles. Twiddle your thumbs. Twiddle your neighbor's thumbs. Wiggle your ears so that the people behind you will notice. Note how many laugh.
A man was driving along the highway when he saw the Easter bunny hopping across the middle of the road. He swerved to avoid hitting the bunny, but unfortunately the Easter bunny jumped in front of the car and was struck by his car, and flattened the bunny. The basket of eggs and candy, the Easter bunny was carrying, went flying all over the place. The driver, being a sensitive man, as well as an animal lover, pulled over to the side of the road, and got out to see what had become of the Easter bunny carrying the basket. Much to his dismay, the colorful Easter bunny was dead. The driver felt so awful, he began to cry. A woman driving down the highway saw the man crying on the side of the road and pulled over. She stepped out of her car and asked the man what was wrong. "I feel terrible," he explained. "I accidentally hit the Easter bunny and killed it. Children will be so disappointed. What should I do?" The woman told the man not to worry. She knew what to do. She went to her car trunk, and pulled out a spray can. She walked over to the dead, limp bunny, and sprayed the contents of the can onto the furry animal. Miraculously the Easter bunny came to life, jumped up, picked up the spilled eggs and candy, waved its paw at the two humans and hopped down the road. 50 meters away the Easter bunny stopped, turned around, waved and hopped down the road. 50 meters further on, he turned again, waved and hopped another 50 meters, again he waved. The man was astonished. He couldn't figure out what substance could be in the woman's spray can. He ran over to the woman and asked, "What is in your spray can? What did you spray on the Easter bunny?" The woman turned the can around so that the man could read the label. "Wait for it. Here it comes." It said, "Hairspray. Restores life to dead hair. Adds permanent wave."